Now that you are familiar with moving around inside your Excel workbook or worksheet, I'm going to talk about entering data into Excel. Now, many people may say a video like this isn't exactly necessary, but the purpose of this video is to discuss what Excel does when you enter data, because entering data is pretty self-explanatory, but when you enter data into a worksheet, it's just as simple as clicking the cell that you want to work with, in this case C4, and we can put data into it. When you put data into it, just by typing, Excel is going to try to determine what kind of data this is. It's going to look to see if it's like a text, like a label, if it's something numeric, which would be numbers, or if it's a formula. Now, text is automatically left aligned into the cell. So if I was just to put test, we're going to see that the wording is going to be put off to the left, whereas anything that's numeric is going to be aligned to the right. So if I was just type in a number 56, it's going to be aligned to the right of the cell. If I was to type in 56A, because I have a letter in here, Excel is going to determine that as being a string or a text, so it's going to do a left align. Another thing I want to show are dates, because dates work a little bit different when you enter them into Excel. If I was to type in a date, September the 13th, 2012, and hit enter, it's going to be right aligned, and it's treating it as a number, even though we have the forward slash here. If you're to right click this and do format cells and change this to a number and hit OK, we're going to get the number 41,165. And I'm going to show you what exactly Excel is doing in order to calculate dates. It starts with day 1, which is going to symbolize January the 1st, 1900. If we're to do format on this, format cells, and change that to a date, Excel sees this as January the 1st, 1900. If we're to autofill this, I'm going to autofill by holding my mouse down on the bottom right corner of this active cell and bring it down. Now we have January 1st all the way to January 10th, 1900. Do right click format cells, change this to a number, and we'll see we have numbers 1 through 10. Microsoft did this in Excel in order to provide the ability to do date calculations. So if you needed to calculate how many days there are between September the 1st and September the 13th in Excel, Excel will look at the number that's behind the scenes, you can say, in order to do a calculation. Anything before 1900 cannot be calculated in Excel, and Excel looks at that value as a text value instead, not a number. So just to show you how this works, though, to give you just a little bit of a better idea, I'm going to type in September the 13th, 2012. I'm going to format that as a date. And I'm going to put here 9/1/2012. Format that as a date. And we'll, of course, we can see this as being there's a 12-day gap. If we were to format this, though, into, I'm going to transfer it over. If we were to transfer these dates into numbers and hit OK, we can see that the difference here is between 41,165 minus 41,153. Gives us a 12-day gap, which is exactly what we see from September the 1st to September the 13th. And this is how Excel provides the ability to do a mathematical calculation of a date. Alright, that gives us a pretty good background as to what Excel is doing when you enter in data into the workbook. Just to recap, it's just trying, whenever you enter data, it's simply trying to determine if it's a text value, a numeric value, a date, or an equation. In the next videos that we're going to be going over, we're going to be talking about how we can select cells on a spreadsheet, editing them, moving and copying data, and working with ranges.